Becky Lomnicki, Artistic Director of Tellin Tales Theatre. You know, we have worked with so many talented actors, writers, directors, and teachers throughout the years that just kept coming back. And so we decided to spotlight the best and the brightest by forming an ensemble. You know, it's a great way to extend our reach because we now have a cadre of so many talented people who love our mission and can go out there and create programs and shows. It just is so great. And you know, Tellin Tales is all about creating community, and this is a way to create community from within. So right now, I'd like to introduce you to our esteemed ensemble.
And I'm glad to be part of this ensemble because there's a matter-of-factness that comes from differences. And I think a lot of people are looking for that. Homogeneity and sameness are yawners. And Tellin Tales is not that. And that's why I appreciate Tellin Tales.
Hi there, I'm Shannon, and I am excited to be a part of the Tellin Tales Ensemble. My favorite moments with Six Stories Up have been seeing the students that we mentor grow and mature each year, taking on larger roles, more responsibilities within the cast, becoming leaders. I've also been touched by the personal connections that we make with the students. One of my mentees asked me to be their confirmation sponsor, and it just meant a whole lot to me, and so I'm very excited to be a part of the Tellin Tales Ensemble.
The work I do with Tellin Tales is exceptionally meaningful to me, like working with a kid who goes, I did it, did you see that? I did it. And I'm like, yeah, I saw it, that's awesome, I did it. Or like last summer, I remember I was sitting backstage just shaking with terror. And then I realized, wait a minute, I'm telling my story here. This is my truth. Tellin Tales gave me my voice back.
Tales makes it possible for all people to experience the power of theater and participate. I remember after a performance of The Breakup, I have never seen so many audience members wait after the show. They wanted to congratulate the actors, but more so, they wanted to tell their own personal stories because they related so strongly to the theme. It was an amazing experience.
Last fall, I had the honor of being in Six Stories Up with my granddaughters, Lila and Gianna. They were my mentees. My very first mentee, Ben Saylor, who you'll meet in this video, was my very first mentee. So it was a full circle. You know, theater is one of those places in life where you can learn one of the most important life skills, and that's teamwork. It's also a very creative and safe environment. I hope to see you soon when the lights go up.
I'm impressed. There isn't one person in this group that I don't like. So it seems to make sense.
To tell the stories that I like to do, stories that connect with people, honest stories. A few years back, we did a project with the Lyric Opera, and I was very happy and proud that we told a story that was honest about the challenges that people with disabilities face in doing their everyday lives. It showed that we have the same hopes and dreams and fears that everybody else does, and while our challenges may be unique, the effect they have on us is just the same as everyone else. When the lights came up at the end of the evening to a standing ovation of a full house, it was very moving, and I got a little emotional. I started to cry a little bit. I'm very happy to be a part of Tellin Tales Theatre so that we can continue to do this work that creates understanding, and shows people who we really are.
When I'm on stage with Tellin Tales, it's really nice, especially for all the people with more visible disabilities, to be respected as an actor. Because when I was on stage through other organizations, whether it be my high school or anything else, it always felt like people were patting the directors and the producers on the back for letting me in. Like, good job, you were able to include a dwarf in it, or congrats, like, it's really nice of you to do that for him. But when I'm on stage with Tellin Tales, it feels like I'm really being respected for my talent, both by the audience and by Tellin Tales Theatre itself.
We all spend a lot of time sort of stumbling around over the inside of our own heads, feeling like we're alone and we're the only ones. I think one of the coolest things about Tellin Tales Theatre is that we discover, or we're reminded, that though our stories are unique, our experiences are pretty much shared. Life can be pretty isolating and often really lonely, and I think it's really important to be reminded that that we're not the only ones, that we share experience, that we're all pretty much the same, no matter what we're walking around in or with.
Sharing stories the way Tellin Tales does is so important. I've gained so much from being a part of this community, especially in knowing that my joys and struggles are shared by other artists with disabilities.
Tellin Tales has helped me to express myself, develop confidence, and embrace my uniqueness. My experience has transformed my life from one of hopelessness to accepting the changes that are occurring in my life because of the progression of my disability.
Brenda had severe cerebral palsy. She used a wheelchair, and much of what she could say was not very comprehensible to any of the students or teachers, except her best friend. Our mission for Tellin Tales Theatre is to include everybody's talents and abilities. So, I was required to learn how to understand what she was saying. And eventually, over the course of the classroom, I did understand what she was saying. And I also learned that she liked to dance. One day, I was speaking with Brenda and understood everything that she said and helped her compose a dance piece for our play. Her best friend suddenly exclaimed, "Hey, congratulations! You understand what Brenda is saying."
It is the responsibility of any playwright to force us, as a society, to question norms that we otherwise take for granted. If you are unable or unwilling to do that for the audience members, then you have failed, and you should find another line of work. That is why I'm here. They allow me the opportunity to evoke emotional responses and help people see different perspectives other than their own.
A few years ago, I started teaching storytelling to women in jail, and I loved it. And from there, I started working with all different kinds of populations. I worked with kids with disabilities, adults with intellectual disabilities, and then I started doing stories with Tellin Tales on stage. I also have a son with a disability who was in 6 Stories Up last year, and he loved it. So it feels like Tellin Tales just fits in with every aspect of my life, and it's been exciting to see how flexible it is, and I feel like we're just finding out everything that it can do, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
My voice in a community of wonderful humans. Each new year brings a new adventure, and I cannot wait to see what the future will bring.
I'm Techie. Maggie, Artistic Director of Tellin Tales Theatre. And way at the beginning of our theater, we were asked by Maggie Daly, former First Lady of Chicago, to teach some summer theater camps at various schools for kids with and without disabilities. In one of our classes, we had a boy who was about 11 years old named Ronnie with cerebral palsy. And he stuttered very uncontrollably. And we wrote music, and the kids wrote the lyrics, and we were so scared that Ronnie would not be able to sing his solo. Well, when we practiced, there went the music, and Ronnie's voice came out very clear and beautiful without a stutter. And then at our show at the Children's Museum, I watched his parents, and when his voice came out singing like that, like a little angel, I saw them tear up. And it was at that very moment that I realized that Tellin Tales Theatre had to go on, had to help kids reach beyond their perceived potential to succeed, and use music and theater to do it. Bravo, Ronnie.